This is Niskan. She recently moved to Windhelm after spending many years on Solstheim. After seeing how bleak life looked there, she decided to take a boat to Solitude. Her boat, however, was caught in a dreadful storm, and she is now stranded alone on an island somewhere in the Sea of Ghosts. Join her now on her fight for survival as she learns to hunt, craft, and adapt to have any hope of escape. Strong gusts of wind stirred up the ocean. Powering rain made it impossible to see anything. Lightning crashed all around us. I don't remember exactly what happened. All I know is that I've come to the shores of an unfamiliar island and I'm lucky to be alive. Too bad I can't say the same for the crew of the ship. I need to find a way off the island. There has to be a ship or something around here. I can't be far from Skyrim as we were already on the sea for a few days. First things first though, if I'm going to survive out here, I need to craft some basic supplies. I could easily make a hatchet if I had a strong tree branch. Before even that though, I searched around to see if there was anything left from the ship. I found one sailor dead on the shoreline. His dagger would come in handy though. I also took some food from a barrel and made my way into a cave. I picked up anything I could find off the ground, killed the skeever that was living in the cave, and made my way onto the island. I walked out into the light. There was a small house and some docks. I immediately went to check it out to see if there was anything of use I could scavenge. In the house, I found bottles, books, and linen wraps. I took everything. The bottles could be used for water, and the books and linen wraps for fires. There was also a fireplace, but nothing of use there. And a couple other random pieces of junk, and a barrel that had a bit of wheat in it. I then went outside to look upon the landscape and think about the situation I found myself in. I then remembered I needed wood and food, so that would be my next priority. I spent the next half an hour collecting branches, and eventually I had enough to build myself a stone hatchet. This would help in collecting dead wood rather than just random branches I find on the floor. I also took the time to build a torch and a little cloak to help me keep warm. Now that this was done, I decided I needed to go hunting, so I ran out into the wilds to find some animals. I quickly got attacked by a skeever and managed to kill it with ease. I then picked up the body and took it back to my house by the docks. Back at the house, I had to first field dress the skeever to get it prepared for skinning. Once this was completed, I skinned it to get its pelt. Finally, I butchered some meat so at least I'd have some amount of food. I next placed down a tanning rack I'd built earlier with some deadwood I'd chopped. This would allow me to tan some of the leather from the pelts I will be collecting. I turned the skeever pelt into some leather strips so I could begin working on crafting a bow. I had managed to take down an elk, and so I had to field dress it, harvest the meat, and skin its pelt as I did with the skeever. This elk would provide a lot more food and a much higher quality leather. I was now able to craft myself a very basic bow made of branches. I went outside, tested this new bow, and was able to kill a mud crab with ease. As I was yet to craft a bed, I decided to spend the night hunting more deer and elk, so I would have plenty of food for my coming survival. I'd also like to quickly just let you all know, I've made a Discord server. In here, we have an about section, my uploads, self-rolls, polls, a general chat, some video suggestions, a memes channel for artwork, media, finding friends to play games with, and a channel specifically for helping you guys out with Skyrim mods. I did mention this in a post, but the link will be down in the description. As the morning rolled around, I decided to investigate the strange statue on the hill. I found a satchel with charcoal, ink, quill, paper, and some old notes. The notes told of how this statue had strange markings of a dwarven centurion head and an inscription that reads "The Light." Apparently, the Mage Light spell is described on the statue, and with a piece of paper and charcoal, I would be able to create a scroll of Mage Light if it was ever needed. Then, I crafted a bone hunting knife. This would enable me to have greater yields from any animals I killed. I then began proper exploration of the island. Further up the hill from the docks, I found this house and decided to investigate. Inside, turns out the house was ruined. There was very little that would come in handy. A few pieces of charcoal and some ruined books, but that was about it. Further down the road, I spotted a bear. I decided to take a first sneaky shot at it, but it discovered me almost immediately. For some reason though, it began to run away from me, and it seemed to decide an elk and a fox were greater prey than me. I wasn't complaining though. I kept up on my rock and kept shooting arrows down on the bear. After a long battle, I finally put a well-placed arrow straight through its eyes, killing it immediately. After skinning the bear, there was no time left to go all the way back to the docks, so I decided I would continue on my way across the island. During these travels, I discovered a ship that didn't look too damaged. I could probably repair this. The old ship seems to be in decent condition, with a couple repairs it could probably sail again. Looks like I'll need some replacement boards to repair damage to the hull. I'll need a large hide from a mammoth and some leather strips to repair the sails, along with some linen wraps to patch a few holes. I'm going to make a trip back to Skyrim. I'll first need to figure out where I am. One of these old ruins has to have a map of the surrounding areas. I'll probably have to sail for a few days before reaching Skyrim, so I'll need to stock up on supplies before leaving. Finally, walking over the hill, I saw it. A sanctuary. A new hunter's hut that I could rest in. I quickly ran as I needed anywhere to sleep for the night. Looking outside, there were farms where I could plant some food. There was a workbench to improve my weapons and armour, and an old forge that could be useful in the future. Walking inside, there was a fireplace, and I immediately saw a bed, and had no choice but to immediately fall down and rest. When I woke up, I decided to have a proper look around the cabin. There was a storage chest, a wolf pelt on the floor, ruined books on the table, and some ancient hunter boots lay on the floor. I then went outside and decided to place the outline of a campfire. This would give me a nice heat source for the future. I also decided to test out my camping abilities. I added some tinder, some fuel, and used magic to light the fire. Then, I decided I'd put this fertile soil outside to use, and decided to plant myself some potatoes. This would give me an infinite food source, which would be very useful in the future. Now it was time to finally craft myself some proper clothes. I made some fur plates and hide laces. This I could use to make myself some fur armour. My life was really coming along here on the island, and I was surviving well. It was now time for some more exploration. This valley over here was rather strange. You could see there was foxes, mammoths, and strange large mushrooms I've never seen anywhere else in Tamriel. Even being from Morrowind, I've never seen something like that. I finally came across a water source, so I could fill up my water skin and have a nice drink, rather than drinking the salt water out by the ocean. Further in the valley, I spotted a centurion. Why such an old Dwemer creation was out here was beyond me. After returning home, it had gotten late, and I decided it was finally time to have another nice rest. When I woke up, I grabbed the shovel that was outside in the hut, and decided I'd get to work doing the gardens. This would give me another place to start planting food, and would aid me in my survival. It was time to discover more of the island. I made sure not to anger the Centurion as I ran past. I didn't want to meet an early end by dwarven technology. I then came across an old dwarven watchtower. It seems they must have had a large presence on this island. Why is beyond me, but I went inside the watchtower to see if there was anything I could use. I ran up the stairs and there was a small area here with some hay, some dwarven arrows, and a dwarven bow. This would really help me in my hunting. There was also a pile of firewood, which would definitely come in handy in the future. I made my way to the roof, a small table with a dagger, a strange gem, some money, and a map of Skyrim and the outlying islands. This was what I needed to traverse my way across the treacherous sea. Going further along the path, I came across another cabin. I decided to check it out, as there might be even more resources for me to use. There was another place to plant soil, some ingots, another piece of charcoal, and another old forge. Making my way inside, it was a lot more desolate than the last one, but still could be useful. The most important thing, however, was this sawmill just up the hill. This could allow me to chop down trees and turn them into the planks that I needed to repair the ship. I then spent the final moments of this day just hunting and collecting more food and resources. On the next day, I decided to start traversing the northern part of the island. I discovered another one of these statues in the middle of a lake. The description on this one teaches you the scroll of water breathing. Now this could be handy if I find anything underwater. Looking around, there was nothing else by the statue, so I decided to make my way around the lake to the other cabin that I saw. This one was almost as desolate as the last. I found another wolf pelt, another one of those strange gems, and a journal. This taught me that I could make a potion of invisibility by combining the wings of lunar moths and some nirnroot. This could be helpful at some point if I need to stay unseen. I checked around the rest of the cabin, and it seems to just have the same equipment that the last two did. I had a look around to see if there was any more charcoal or anything else of use, but this one seemed to have nothing. That journal was all that was worth it. With that taking up my entire day, I killed a few animals, took some resources, and ended my day. And that is the end of this video as well. If you want to see more, please like, subscribe, and comment to see the rest of Niskan's journey as she evolves from basic dunmer to master survivalist.